Well, this dates back to my mother, uh, late Mrs. Mary Olayemi Abiodun. At the time, education was not particularly pushed for girls, and since there was not going to be any kind of economic support for her to get an education, she did hire herself out to farmers in the villages to help them during planting season. Eventually, she became a school teacher. Fast forward, she met my dad. She still was thirsty for education, so she tried to get herself into college. And my father kind of sabotaged that in his own way. So she settled for trading. She became a greengrocer. We will get up at 4 in the morning and go to the island. We lived on the mainland, go to the island to sell these grains. By 11 a.m. the market was over. So she did this and she was very successful at it. She was able to send all of us girls to school against my father's wishes initially. My sister was an excellent student. She's a chemistry major. She was the most intelligent of all the 12 children my father had. She did very well. So my father was encouraged, and after a while he joined in. He was convinced that girls should be educated. So he joined in and he apologized to us, I have to say, for thinking we couldn't do it. But Mom was the powerhouse. She was the one that dug in. She was the one that risked society's norm, or she risked ostracization because they would say she wasn't a good wife because she wasn't listening to her husband in this particular instance. She didn't care about all of that. She just was convinced that this was the right thing to do. So she did it. So while she was doing all of that, she raised us children on some of the stuff you see in Awomi Naturals. She used shea butter, she used camwood. We had pots and pots of herbs. I didn't pay too much attention at that time. So fast forward, I came to the US in the early 80s, and I didn't think anything of it. I used it on my children. Whatever she used on us that worked, I used on my children. And then my daughter goes to college and she kept coming home and begging me for some of this stuff. So after a while I asked her, what are you doing with all? She says, my friends like it. I said, okay, so I'll give it to her. More recently, in more recent years, she says to me, Mommy, you know, those people still keep asking me for those things. Why don't we just start to sell it? Because it looks like people do like them and they think they work. So we sat together and this is the product of that conversation.